Welcome to Masonite The Discussion. My name is Marianne Landis, and over the last 30 years I realized the two primary passions in my life that keep surfacing are education and building. And it's through those things that I think my awareness and involvement in what is happening here tonight has emerged. I'm also a member of the Smart Growth Coalition, and this is our fourth educational forum on land use issues through the entity that we call Citizen U, which is a triple entendre, Citizen U, and Citizen University and Citizen Ukiah. Thanks are in order for this forum to the City of Ukiah, the Ukiah Chamber of Commerce, the Main Street Program, Gulp, Ukiah Valley Smart Growth Coalition, the Hampton Inn, and Pennifin Performance Coatings. Having discussed water, economic development, and affordable housing during our first three forums, we realized that the controversy surrounding the desire of DDR to rezone the industrial land at the old Masonite property needed to be our next forum topic. As the planning began, related bits and articles came my way. This sure has been an education for me. What I realized is that we're not the only place struggling with this kind of industrial land conversion. Recently in LA, brouhaha broke out when nearly 3,000 acres of industrial land were up for discussion of rezoning for other uses, namely retail and residential. Their mayor, planning department, and redevelopment agency voted to rezone only a very small portion of that 3,000 acres, taking only 260 acres, about a tenth of it, and leaving 2,600 acres for continued industrial use. Their decision not to rezone more of this industrial land was based on something they called blue-collar protection. And I think that's a pretty interesting term. I hadn't heard it before, but it really speaks to what industrial land can do for a community. One of the officials said, "You have no chance of creating these manufacturing jobs once the land is used for other purposes. They did what they did to protect jobs, preserve land for future industrial uses, which some people refer to as land banking, and to keep a focus on a downtown that was being redeveloped." All this happened surrounded by the same kind of controversy we're experiencing here related to the rezoning of industrial land on the former Masonite property. Since our last forum, we made extensive overtures to DDR, the corporation that owns the former Masonite property, to participate in this forum. We invited DDR to help design the format, rename the event, utilize a moderator of their choosing. And in December, they agreed to provide someone through their corporate communication department to participate in the debate. So we were on a run. We thought, okay, it's Masonite the Debate, that's the title, we're going for it. It was going to be a Lincoln Douglas style debate. And plans were in process for figuring out the format exactly, rebuttals, etc. And then, unfortunately, as publicity was going out, DDR decided they were not ready to discuss the economic benefits or community impacts of rezoning their land. At that point, not that long ago, what was to have been a debate changed form into a discussion. And in the interest of maintaining an open and fair forum, last week again, I extended an invitation to them to join us and display flyers or pamphlets. You'll find their corporate flyers back there. I think there's one on the table where Carol Kistler's sitting. And they're alongside the handouts of the volunteers the Smart Growth Coalition are providing. As you can see, we also have a chair available back here if DDR decides they want somebody to stand up and speak for them. Now, I want to share a quote that stuck with me from my attendance last year at the New Partners for Smart Growth. I think it explains what smart growth is concerned with, which sometimes seems to get lost in the translation. I mean, I have heard recently, I'd say in the last 2 months particularly, people are equating smart growth with no growth, and I think it's really a mistaken summary of what smart growth is. The quote that I retained from this workshop last year, this conference in Los Angeles, was, "How can we grow without wrecking the place?" Pretty easy. And pretty important, I think, the simple components that are a part of it. How can we grow with an economy that supports us and provides homes that house us? And how can we grow our workforce so they're trained for the economy's needs? And how can we grow without wrecking the place, without depleting resources or causing repercussions to our community that limit our future? And how can we grow without wrecking the place, our particular unique place in the world? So this quote, how can we grow without wrecking the place, to me, embodies what smart growth is. And I think it's a way to explain it to other people. Now a little about the format for the next 2 hours. Michael Schumann, our keynote speaker, will present his keynote for 30 minutes. He spoke this morning in a very exciting fashion. It was a really great presentation for Main Street program. And then he'll be followed by Marie Jones, who will bring a planner's perspective to the table. This will take us till a little bit before 7 o'clock, at which time you'll have a chance to have your questions answered in a moderated discussion with Casey Meadows. And she'll be sitting up here then. So you have little note cards that you got hopefully out in the hall, and if you don't have one, people will come by and drop some off at the end of the rows so you can have some for your questions that you want to have answered, whatever they may be about the rezoning of that property or related issues. And then Casey's going to vet them, and I think Marianne Vilwalk and Mari Roden are going to help with that. So now a little bit about the speakers. First, I'm going to introduce Michael Schumann here. Michael Schumann, an attorney, economist, businessman, and author, has co-written and written and edited 7 books, including The Small Mart Revolution, How Local Businesses Are Beating the Global Competition. He wrote that in 2006. Michael has written nearly 100 published articles for such periodicals as the New York Times, Washington Post, Nation, Weekly Standard, Foreign Policy, Parade, and the Chronicle on Philanthropy. In recent years, Schumann has been promoting local economy concepts through a variety of projects, including creating a small business venture capital fund in New Mexico, launching a community-owned company in Salisbury, Maryland called Bay Friendly Chicken, organizing university government business collaborations in St. Lawrence County, New York, and in the Katahdin region? Katahdin region in Maine to study opportunities for import replacement, preparing a buy local guide and coupon book for Annapolis, Maryland, developing a website, communityfood.com, to support marketing for family farmers, and building the Business Alliance for Local Living Economies, Bali. Schumann received an A.B. with distinction in economics and international relations from Stanford in '79 and a J.D. from Stanford in 1982. Welcome.
All right. If you could see if we're, if you could just hit the little arrow there. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for having me, and it's great to be here. Thank you for the various sponsors for putting this together, and thank you for taking 2 hours of your very valuable time